Hey YouTube, Kira Qualia here, bringing you guys my Riviere Cardfight Vanguard deck profile for May 2018, following along with all the Bermuda decks that I'm finishing with Divas Festa. Finished up the Riviere deck, so I thought after Prisms I'd give you guys the update to this deck. It's a lot of fun, and they actually got support that I didn't think they'd get in the way they did, but pretty awesome that they did still with the new Riviere support grade 3. So let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. So starting off with the stride zone, I run 4 Legendary Idol Riviere. Pretty standard stride unit. Once per turn you counterblast. Choose a face down card with the same card name as this unit from your G zone. Turn face up. Choose up to the same number of your rear guards, the number of cards in your soul with Riviere in their card names, and they get +5 until the end of the turn. If you have 3 or more face-up cards in your G-Zone, you draw a card, and this unit gets +10,000 and an extra critical until the end of the turn. So the generic +10 and a critical has been used in a lot of different decks just for its generic power, but the +5 with the fact that you're actually running it in the Riviere deck just adds for an extra bonus boost. It's usually the main stride you'll want to go into with your Riviere units. And I also run 4 School at Toil Olivia. Now, this is just one other preference I use for multiple attacks with your units on the field, and the additional crit with the Olivia helps as well. So just that option with her multiple attacks that you can go into with this card. And I also run 1 Perfect Performance Angie, one of the best strides we got out there. The deck can be pretty counterblast heavy, so just running 1 of her at the moment, but still good to go into for the quad drive and for the bouncing of all cards in the field for +5 power. And also 1 Festal Finale Final Priscilla. It's the GB8 for the deck, so very powerful when you, after going through plenty of your Riviere on flips and G-guards, go into her, and you can make use of her bounce back, call, and +5 power effects for a lot of attacks to go off. And also 1 Megiddo, Magallanica, standard specific for all Magallanica decks pretty much. And for the G-Guards, I run 2 Luxury Wave Ellie. As I said before, one of the best G-Guards we got for Bermuda Triangle, so can't go wrong with its easy shields with your perfect guards. Same with Hand-in-Hand Leona, bouncing back cards, calling to the guard circle for extra shields. If you have anything on the field that you don't want to use to guard, just bounce it back and then use it. And also 1 Blessed Sparkle Sandy. I don't have the Sparkle Sandy heals, which I would run in this deck, or the Shoo effect heals if you had them with this deck. But like I said, heals can be swapped out and taken for what you want, obviously, with the deck. And that's it for the stride zone. We'll move on to the main deck. I run 4 of the new Spirited Star Trois. It's a very interesting effect. From the hand, you counterblast and call this to rear guard. Choose a card from your hand and return it to your deck. If your Vanguard is grade 2 or greater, search your deck for up to 1 Top Idol Riviere. Ride it on your Vanguard as stand. If you rode from a grade 3 unit, choose a face down card with Riviere and its card name from your G zone and stride it on your Vanguard and shuffle your deck. So it lets you superior stride basically. Even early in game if you're on a grade 3 already, which is pretty awesome because you can just rush your opponent then. But it's also pretty good that you run the 4 Riviere, because then you can go into that card early as well and get off its effects. So great setup if you basically rode first and just want to speed up against your opponent. You gotta make sure you have the right resources to do it. Obviously this card has to be in your hand and also be on grade 3 for you to fully utilize its effect. And it also has an effect, Soul Blast 1, when your grade 4 Vanguard Riviere, its card name attacks, you may pay the cost if you do stand this unit. So then you obviously attack with this first, then your Vanguard restands. Your Vanguard attacks, then you just restand this for multiple attacks. Plus, I also run 4 Top Idol Riviere. Part of the ride chain also helps with stride costs with your extra ones. It also has a special, basically, Persona Counterblast, where you counterblast 2 and choose a Top Idol Riviere from your hand and discard it. When this unit attack hits, you may pay the cost. If you do, choose 3 of your Bermuda Triangle rear guards, they get +5. It's also part of the Riviere ride chain, obviously, so just fully needed with Trois. And you can, most of the time I don't like to use it for its discard effect, but still good to discard extra Rivieres you have with the cost for stride, because you want to save the other Trois for their own effect. And for the grade 2 lineup, I run 4 Super Idol Riviere. Part of the ride chain again, when a card named Top Idol Riviere rides this, if you have a card named Mermaid Idol Riviere in your soul, you draw a card. So just making up for the ride chain basically with each draw, which keeps hand consistency, and also a 10k when you have Mermaid Idol Riviere in your soul as well. And also for Maturity Talent, Selena. With this, from your hand, you put this card into your soul, choose a card from your hand, discard it. If your Vanguard is Mermaid Idol Riviere, search your deck for up to 1. Super Idol Riviere, ride on your Vanguard, shuffle your deck. So just more superior riding. It's insane how fast you can go with this deck if you have the right resources. And from the rear, when your Vanguard Riviere and its card name attacks, you may return this unit to your hand. If you do, call this unit to rear guard. So it's just like a multiple call effect as well to make use of, which is what the main focus of the Riviere deck obviously turned into, with plus power and multiple attacks. And I also run 3 Limpid Chorus Maylene. When this unit attacks the Vanguard, if you have a Super Idol Riviere on your Vanguard or in your soul, until the end of that battle, this unit gets plus 2,000. And when this unit attack hits, you countercharge and soul charge. So it makes up for all the heavy costs that you do with a lot of your cards to just get that countercharge and soul charge off, obviously. Making it 11k too, so it can attack big grade 3s on its own also. And moving on to the grade 1s. For Image Master Kukuri, with this, it's the countercharge perfect guard. So pretty standard to run with the deck just to save your counterblasts. And also, I run 4 Mermaid Idol Riviere. Part of the ride chain again, so it has the plus 1,000 effect. And when a card named Super Idol Riviere rides this unit, if you have a Vanguard, if you have a card named Cadet Riviere in your soul, you draw a card. So it just adds on. They basically all share the same effect with the ride, drawing after drawing after drawing. So definite plus off of every time you get the ride chain successfully. And I also run 4 Immaculate Symbol Freya. The new grade 1. From your hand, you put this card into your soul, choose a card from your hand, discard it. If you have a grade 0, search your deck for up to 1 Mermaid Idol Riviere, ride it on your Vanguard, and shuffle your deck. So this whole deck is just basically, you're guaranteed to hopefully get the entire Riviere ride chain off properly with all the different support you're running. Very low chance that you will not get the proper cards. And the rear guard effect, all your Vanguards with Riviere and their card names get the effect. All your rear guards cannot be chosen by the effects of your opponent's cards. So additional protection with this card on rear guard. Definite 4 of, since it just helps so much to get your proper ride chain off in the deck. And lastly, for the grade 1s, 2 Lunchmaker Ica. You choose a card from your hand and put it into your soul. When this unit is placed on rear, if you have a grade 2 or greater Vanguard with Riviere in its card name, you may pay the cost. If you do, draw a card. So it also helps if you do miss your chance with the ride chain. Only 2 though, because with the new Freya, it doesn't happen as often. It can still happen, but still options to save, obviously, with this card. And moving on to the grade 0s for your starter, obviously Bermuda Triangle Cadet Riviere. Basically, it has the check top 7 effect, like all the other ride chains of the era when this one came out. You check top 7 for a Super Idol Riviere or a Mermaid, or Top Idol Riviere, my apologies. And you add it from your deck to your hand. Check top 7, and with all the other cards, most of the time if you grab this, it's just an extra bonus. Otherwise, you'll basically have the whole ride chain ready to go. Otherwise, if you ride something other than it, you may call this card to rear, which you don't want to do most of the time because it will mess up your other effects in the deck. And for additional, your trigger lineup, 4 of the Popping Melody Lila. It's the Counterblast 1. Return this unit to your hand. When this unit boosts, you may pay the cost. If you do until the end of that battle, double the attack of the boosted unit. And if it has GB2, it gets a critical. So way too good not to run just for that double power effect. It's a GB2 effect, but easy to do with the striding you do in the deck. But that power, just way too good not to make use of. And also for Shushu Roberta, it's the countercharge crit where you put in a soul and countercharge. Just way too good not to run. It's generic, even though it is named Choo-Choo, obviously, but you definitely need an easy countercharge with this deck. That's why we run the Perfect Guard and all the other different options as well. Plus also 4 Heartful AL Fundy. You have plenty of pressure with this deck, so I like running the draws just to keep consistency with your hand, because I find that to be the biggest weakness when you invest so much with your grade 3 plays with your Riviere cards. You can just mess up sometimes with the hand, or just not have enough hand to do other stuff, or guard if the full-on kill doesn't become successful. And also to finish up the deck for Sweet Allure Rico, I have this heal in here. You can run the Sandy heal or the new Shushu heal that has the bind countercharge effect if you want to run that as well. Just have them in other decks, but pretty obviously you would run those just since they have effects over the vanilla heals. But yeah, that's it for the deck profile. Definitely one of the funner decks. I'm glad it got the support it did. Definitely helps with the different combos you can try. And definitely try it out. It's a fun deck for sure if you're looking to build any Bermuda. That's it for the deck profile once again. Please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And until next time, Kira Qualia out.